going on, guys? So today I just kind of wanted to go over Series 3. Series 3 is going to be coming out on March 1st. For those of you that don't know, in terms of VGC competitive, Series 3 is going to be really cool. It's going to be bringing back the Pokemon that were transferable only, as well as some new Gmax forms. So I just kind of wanted to talk about those Pokemon today, and some things that you should probably keep in mind with those Pokemon. So anyways, let's jump into it. We're just going to jump on Cerebi, talk about them, that sort of thing, and yeah. Okay. So, starting with the transferable Pokemon, there are certain Pokemon that I think are going to be quite influential and centralizing in the format, and I know that some of us, like in my Discord server, we've already talked about these Pokemon and stuff like that, but for those of you that aren't in our Discord server, by the way, it's a open Discord, so you should probably join, be in that coat room, Yang, but that's up to you. But yeah, so in terms of Pokemon that are going to be coming back, there are a handful of Pokemon that are going to be very good. Venusaur is actually one of them. Venusaur, as we've seen before, we definitely have seen it like in 2018 with 2019 with some of those Pokemon coming back in the Ultra Series. Venusaur was a very good Pokemon to use, and considering it has access to Chlorophyll. So Chlorophyll is essentially, it doubles your speed in the sun. So it works like Sand Rush or Swift Swim, but this one works in the sun. So Venusaur is going to be a speedy tank. It's going to be very hard to take off the field with, especially with Dynamax, and it now gets access to Weather Ball, which makes it a very, very good move. Yeah, so honestly, we should expect to see a lot of Venusaur. I'm very excited to use Venusaur. Bulbasaur is my favorite starter. So yeah, so I am quite excited to use Venusaur, to be honest with you. Blastoise is also going to be another good Pokemon. Rain Dish is kind of just like one of those added bonuses. I wouldn't say it's the best ability, but he has access to Shell Smash. Shell Smash can be a very good Pokemon. I mean, can be a very good move. You know, pairing it with White Herb, stuff like that. It's basically going to work like Geomancy, like as we've seen before, you know, with Xerneas and stuff like that. But Shell Smash will essentially lower your defenses, and yeah, it lowers your defenses and raises your special attack and speed, rather than Geomancy just essentially raising those stats without lowering anything. Pairing it with a White Herb will, you know, pretty much negate those stat drops once you go for Shell Smash, which is going to make Blastoise a very, very dangerous Pokemon. So yeah, so that's really cool. It's going to be, I think, with, you know, Rage Powder and as well as Follow Me setups with Togekiss and Indeedee is going to make it a very, very big threat. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And honestly, I'm excited to see Blastoise and Venusaur in this format because I think that they're going to be extremely good. Yeah, I think they're going to be extremely good in this format, and I'm very, very happy about that. Down here, as we know, Incineroar is back, and I'm partially excited / almost not excited because it's going to be on every team. But nevertheless, I think Incineroar has been nerfed a bit. I mean, he will be a omnipresence, very centralizing Pokemon in this format. He's going to be very good. He's a very situational Pokemon too, so like you can pretty much build whatever set you want. Incineroar is just, oh my gosh, man, he's a monster. Sitting at a base 60 speed doesn't make him super fast, but it still gives him his natural bulk, right? As well as physical omnipresence, just makes him so good. You can put an AV set on it. You can run it with Parting Shot. He now gets access to Parting Shot, which is so good. It's such a good move. Yeah, so he's going to be having quite a bit of support roles. He still gets access to Snarl as well. I mean, we probably won't be seeing Arcanine any longer. it's probably just going to be Incineroar. So yeah, he's got a great defensive typing. I mean, Intimidate as well. I mean, Intimidate has kind of like shifted downwards in popularity. It used to be one of the best abilities in the game, but now with, you know, abilities like Competitive and Defiant and stuff like that, you know, it makes it difficult in order to use those Pokemon. Yeah, so Primarina is another one of those. Primarina is, I think, has a ton of potential. Primarina now gets access to Calm Mind, which is going to be interesting to see, I think. Primarina is already enough. Like, he already has like a monstrous special attack as well as special defense. So I'm not sure how well Calm Mind will do for Primarina in the double set. But I think with Liquid Voice being available, I think with Hyper Voice and things like that, I think it's going to be a threat, especially with Dynamax feature. I mean, he's going to get more of a natural bulk to it as well. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a very good Pokemon. So yeah, those are some Pokemon that are going to be returning. In terms of forms, we're going to expect seeing Ninetales. Ninetales is one of the Pokemon that I think that I'm most excited about using. Ninetales has the ability Snow Warning and gets access to Aurora Veil. Aurora Veil is essentially screens in one, so you get Reflect and Light Screen in one. So it's a very good move. It's a very good support Pokemon. It does have access to Freeze Dry, being able to hit those Pokemon, the water type Pokemon, super effectively, so that's pretty cool. And it does have the egg move of Moonblast and Hypnosis. So, I mean, it's got some cool offensive presence as well as its support options, but I think the main thing that you're probably going to see is Aurora Veil setup alongside some sort of Togekiss and Indeedee to get the guarantee Aurora Veil. In terms of Alolan Persian, I think Alolan Persian is still going to be very good as well. Alolan Persian is a very fast Pokemon sitting at 115. But he has the ability Fur Coat. For those of you that don't know what Fur Coat is, here, let's go ahead and click on it here. It halves the damage from physical moves onto this Pokemon. So pairing it with like Aurora Veil or, you know, Grimmsnarl with screens or something like that, it's going to make Pokemon like Persian very hard to get off the field, especially when it has the move Parting Shot. So Persian gets access to Parting Shot, and we've already seen somewhat of, you know, Persian's capabilities in previous formats as well as previous competitions, but I still think Persian is still a great viable option for a format like this, considering you know, there are a lot of powerful Pokemon, but I think Parting Shot is one of those moves that I think fits into every format, you know, and I think that if you time it right, you know, and you use it correctly, Parting Shot can be extremely detrimental. You know, it's almost like being able to get a guarantee stat drop on something that's about to switch in or something that you need to switch out of. Yeah, so I think it's really cool with being able to be as fast as Persian is, and it is a dark typing, so you can prevent prankster setups as well as taunts, so you can get a guaranteed Parting Shot, which is really cool. So yeah, going up here, I actually wanted to talk about one more thing before we end the video. This is the new Gmax announcement. So there are going to be some Gmax mons that are going to be coming back to the format, or I shouldn't say coming back, that are going to be introduced into the format. And some of them I think that you should definitely keep an eye out and are definitely going to be some sort of presence. Lapras. So Lapras is one of those ones that I've been waiting for a really long time. Lapras having access to, you know, Water Absorb and stuff like that makes it a great counter for Pokemon like Dracovish and as well as Gastrodon, which is surprisingly extremely popular. I love Gastrodon. I think it's a cool Pokemon. But yeah, so Lapras is a cool Pokemon because he has access to this G-Max move called G-Max Resonance, which is essentially Auroraville. Yeah, it's really, really, really cool. So, you know, Auroraville, as I've already said before in this video, is it's a 2-in-1 screen. So, you know, being able to set Auroraville is really, really important. For a Pokemon like Lapras, it's already bulky enough, so having Auroraville up is it's just gonna make it so hard to get off the field. In terms of some other ones here, I think Flapple is going to be very good. As we've been seeing in the format, Durant is probably like one of the top 5, top 10 Pokemon to use right now, because it has Hustle. Hustle is essentially you get a free choice band, but it lowers your accuracy to 80% on all moves. So that is kind of challenging, but Flapple is really cool because of Hustle. He does have the 4 times weakness to Ice, which I think is dangerous for Flapple right now, considering Alolan Ninetales and Lapras are going to be so present. But I still think it's still worth noticing, because G-Max Flapple is really cool, and Hustle hits like a truck. Like, if you can get it in the right position, it hits like a truck. Toxtricity is another one. Toxtricity, so I know I've kind of talked about this before, but Toxtricity is really not too fast, and he's really not too bulky. Of course, he has a really cool ability being Technician and or Punk Rock, but Toxtricity is very weak to ground type Pokemon. You know, he is a electric poison type, and that's 4 times weak. So finding a way to somehow skill swap, Toxtricity into Levitate, I think that's going to be quite the strategy. I think Toxtricity would have quite a bit of... I think it'll have quite a bit of viability. I don't think we'll see it all too often, but I think it's going to be a challenge when someone is able to somehow get that Levitate off. And its max move is cool. Poison's really not too important. I would say Paralysis is even better. But with Prankstermons, I think that's, pretty well solved. I think you can still accomplish your goal with the Prankstermon rather than using Toxtricity. So that's that. Hatterene is still really good. Hatterene has an extremely high special attack as well as special defense, and as we've already seen, its main focus is pretty much Trick Room. But if it single targets you, it does a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage. And I think we're going to start seeing more more offensive sets for Hatterene for its G-Max. I think that people are going to get creative and try to set that up pretty well. And then Grimmsnarl. I think Grimmsnarl is actually going to be the biggest one. So Grimmsnarl has a 50% chance on G-Max Snooze to land a Yawn on both of your Pokemon. Yawn has been one of those moves that I think people have been wanting to work for such a long time. Now, we've been seeing it a lot on Togekiss. Togekiss is one of these Pokemon. I think Togekiss as well as Incineroar, I think they're probably going to have the highest usage stat for a really long time. They're very, very good Pokemon. But Grimmsnarl having access to G-Max Snooze is really cool as well. Having Grimmsnarl as an option as a G-Max Mon in your team, but still keeping it as your prankster, support role, however you need to do it, is still going to be really cool. Grimmsnarl can definitely turn the tide if he does end up landing that 50% Yawn, because Yawn, essentially what it does is it makes your opponent want to switch out their Pokemon, and if they don't, they go to sleep. So either way, they're in a losing situation. Either way, they're gonna have to switch out, and something is gonna take damage, or their Pokemon's gonna fall asleep, and that it can be detrimental to a lot of strategy. So I think that these Pokemon are gonna be very good, and I definitely think it's something to look out for. So Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below as well. We do have our open Discord server, so join the Discord server if you want to. And also, we do stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, so come hang out with us if you want to. We're going to be doing a lot of competitive in terms of Series 3, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye.